Hey y'all, it's your girl Aliya and I'm here again with some more moving to LA advice and acting advice. I'm actually here with a Q&A from one of my viewers, which is cool. I don't know what. She had messaged me on Twitter actually not too long ago, and I was supposed to have been recorded this video, but a lot of personal things was going on, so I didn't get a chance to really get to it like I wanted to. I really wanted to make sure I took the time to answer the questions that she wanted and answer them effectively, because she is looking to move from DC, I believe, to LA, and she said that my video really helped her a lot. And this is just going to be an updated video on how to move to LA / Q&A. So yeah, let's just get to it. So I don't know if she wants me to say her actual Twitter name. I didn't ask her that. I should have. My bad, girl. But she started off asking, how much do you recommend saving before moving? Most articles say over $10,000 to be safe. How much do I recommend saving before moving? So I did not save that much at all, actually. I didn't have too much, which is why the video was on like how to move with no money or little to no money, because I didn't have much money when I moved to LA. I just wound up making it work. I wound up landing a job as soon as I got there. I kind of hit the ground running so that I would be able to afford to live there. And then when I realized, like, you know, once I lost my job and stuff like that happened, like, I just adjusted. I left. I went somewhere cheaper to live, and, you know, I did the things that I needed to do to make sure it worked out. Now, do I suggest people to do that? Absolutely not. But if that's something that you know that you can't get a job wherever you at, you just gotta go, it's a toxic situation at home, by all means, do the thing. There's a lot of people that move out there with nothing and turn into a whole lot of something. Okay? So, yeah, I would say if you just don't have any resources and you know you won't have any resources, or you know, situations like that, then go ahead and move. And watch my last video to figure that out and how to do it and how to go about it. As far as if you're preparing yourself to move, about 10K, I agree. 10K will kind of get you settled. If you don't have a job yet, you know, you can find a job within that amount of time, pay your rent, pay your car note, pay your bills, because you're going to have a car, your security deposit, all of that stuff adds up. And I think 10K will give you about a cushion. And I think a lot of people that I met saved about 10K, that did save, saved about 10K, $10,000 to move out to LA. So I definitely agree. If I would have done it differently, I would have done that. Maybe I'll be there today because I moved. Surprise. I don't live there anymore. I live in Atlanta. There's going to be an updated video on exactly why I decided to move later, but I really want to focus on her questions and what she has for me. So question number 2. Do most apartments come with free garage parking or spaces? Or is it like DC, expensive and no spots available? So if anybody that doesn't live in DC or knows DC, it's a mess. It's a hot mess living in the city. It's really hard to find parking anywhere, whether you live there, whether you don't. But LA is a little bit different. LA has garages. Usually apartments have garages that you can park in. Even in the city, like there were friends' houses that I went to, there were garages up under the building that you could park in, and you didn't have to worry about parking on the street or anything like that. And even your guests could park, like my friends' houses, their guests could park inside the garage. I parked in garages for my friends' apartments. So that's not a big issue in LA. Parking is a nightmare in DC. It is not like that in LA. Sometimes you can, you know, it's a city. You can get parking tickets if you don't pay attention to the signs, but it's not like DC where it's like, I don't know when, if I can park here. It's like 5 different signs over here, you know, stuff like that. When I first moved to LA, I lived in an apartment and we had tandem parking. So we had two parking spots, but they were right in front and behind each other. And I had to move out, or my roommate had to move out to let each other out to, you know, leave and come back. So, yeah, that's not a big issue at all in LA. I didn't have an issue with it. Even when I moved out of the apartment and I'm moving into a house, like the street parking, like they never came on our street. Sorry, police. But they never came on our street. I ain't had no issues. Safety tips for moving to LA. I feel like LA is just like any other city, really. Like, when I was in LA, I just practiced my normal safety. Like, when I would go out on dates, I would take my mace, my knife, you know, stuff like that. The dang gone Staples Center took my little knife. I went to the BET experience and they took my knife. I had it on my key ring and they realized that it was a knife. It was shaped as a key. So usually, like, I would go in government buildings and they didn't know I had it. And Staples Center knew better. So they took my knife. But I had mace after that. And, you know, the normal. Like, you walking in the dark. Don't do that. Like, in pitch black darkness, you by yourself, you're a woman. Like, I hate that it has to be that way, but you know, just be mindful of your surroundings at all times. And it also depends on where you live. I didn't have any problems with safety or anything living in LA. I didn't have any problems with anyone. Like, I had an issue with a man that I went on a date with, but because of my safety, you know, techniques, someone has my location. I share my location at all times with my best friends. My dad has my location at all times, and now my siblings have my location at all times. And my brothers don't play about me. My best friends don't play about me. And I can send an SOS in any second, and I'll be good. And I also had an LA friend that always had my location. So whenever I went out on dates or hung out with someone and it was in a strange place, or I would start to feel uncomfortable, I'd be like, hey, look at my location. Can you watch me if I don't text you back every, you know, so-and-so time? Come looking for me, okay? So, thankfully, I didn't have something like that happen. I did have an incident that I'm going to talk about later where a guy was trying to get me drunk and to have sex with me, and I refused to drink, and I got myself out of that situation pretty quickly. And my dad happened to be in town, so it just worked out pretty well. And he always had my location, so it just worked out pretty well. And I told my Uber driver, you know, that was coming to pick me up, what was going on as he was on his way. So it was just things like that. Just make sure you're just always aware, and that's in every city you go to. LA is not like some big scary place. I don't know what y'all see on TV, what y'all think it is. Like, it is a city. I ain't have no issues outside of that man. Tips that are unique to LA. I think that's what she's asking, because she did, she said safety tips / unique to LA / aspiring actors. Okay, so the last question is like, it's a part of the last question I answered. It says safety tips / unique to LA / aspiring actors. Safety tips, you know, we covered that. Unique to LA, I don't know whether she's asking if the safety tips, if there are any safety tips that are unique to LA, or if there are any generic trips. Generic tips that are unique to LA. Generic tips are, don't take the public transportation. You're going to get there 2 hours later than usual. Traffic is horrible. Make sure you plan ahead. Use the Waze app, please. What else is there? There's a lot of fun things to do in LA. Make sure you get out and you do them. And you just Google and you meet as many people as you can wherever you go to events, and things will start opening up for you as far as networking is concerned, and you'll be invited to a lot of really cool things out there. There's so many things to do in LA. I think that's my biggest tip. Just be open. Don't go to no party in Calabasas. That's what I was told. I don't know the truth to that because I didn't go. Okay. I just heard it's a mess. Any tips for aspiring actors? We're gonna go into that a little bit later in some other videos, but I guess the general tips is, the tips would be, is to establish yourself where you are first, if that makes any sense. Like if you're in a city and there is nothing really going on as far as the industry is, and you're trying to figure out like what to do before you go out to LA, establish yourself there first. Get a reel. Whatever you can do it. Like you get connected with the schools in the area, take a few acting classes, like general, like introductory acting classes. The best acting classes are out in LA and New York. But make sure that you take a few acting classes, kind of get your feet wet before you decide, you go into it. And then also link up with the schools, the colleges and universities in your area, because there are students doing student projects that need actors or actresses. That's a great way to get your feet wet as far as getting a demo reel done. Looking into independent films that are being made in your area, a web series, kind of get your feet wet, create your own content. That's the biggest thing for aspiring actors. Create your own content, which is what I'm working on, which is also going to be a part of this entire process for me, creating my web series, what that's going to look like, and creating a short form series. I'm really excited about sharing all of these things. I hope I answered your question. She said, that's all I have for now. She thanks. So, girl, if you have any other questions, or if anybody has any more questions, please, I can do more of these. I think I want to do it live. I'm not sure if I can do it live on YouTube, so I'm trying to figure out what I can do as far as making these things live. I might have to do an Instagram type of situation. But yeah, you guys, let me know in the comments what you think, any questions that you have, and once I get a certain amount of questions, I'm gonna go ahead and answer them. I think I'm gonna go with about 6 to 10 each time, so that I can have enough time for you guys to really get something out of it. So thank you for watching my channel. I'm really grateful for you. Thank you for being here and being a part of my little family. So peace.